Nation, Man Fit TV, aka me TV, aka the one-man wrecking crew. And you know what, Flyers fans? We have to have a talk right now about one Ilya Bryzgalov. Now, I will put it like this. I know all of us at one point have said we want Bryzgalov gone due to the fact that the way he plays, his style of play, he's ducking pucks, he's doing all these things, he's making these erroneous comments, which I will talk about today, okay? But understand that this isn't about his play today. No. We're all guilty of saying it because as a fan, that's how we do. But this is about life now. Ilya Bryzgalov has come out and talked about people in the ghetto, which he has no business doing. He has no idea what the ghetto is, all right? Then he wants to talk about Americans, which obviously he has no idea what Americans are about. Like, yeah, we're going to get this. He's looking for a one-way ticket out of Philadelphia. You know what? As far as I'm concerned, give it to him. This is what it comes down to. After I'm done today, I swear, after I'm done today, if anybody tries to justify what this guy is saying, you need to make some time to come see me face to face so we can talk about this, unless you're scum as well. That's how I feel right now. These comments are ridiculous. They're erroneous. And you know what? We're going to get to it right now. That's right. Now, I want to tell you guys before I start this, because we're going to read the interview, which is kind of odd that not more media has picked this up, and I will address that later, all right? This is a translated interview, so some of the words are kind of mashed up, okay? Let's get into this. And I will put this in the info bar for you guys and girls to see as well. So, let's get into this. It says, we all know how the press treats you in Philadelphia. What kind of relationship do you have with the fans? Now, fans, pay attention because we know what he said last season about the fans. He says, it's normal. It says, in Philadelphia, it's just fans. You play well, they chant your name. If bad, they give it to understand their reaction. And the reporters, I'm not even going to establish contact. I did not mess up. Now, I understand what he says about the reporters in Philadelphia. I have gone on record many times and many others saying the reporting here is bad. It's horrible. Philadelphia media is horrible and needs to be changed. I don't know how many videos I can do on that. However, what he says about the fans is that they're normal. Now, mind you, he told you Flyers fans last season that you were too good. You want too much. You're too diehard for a win, for a Stanley Cup, and then it's only hockey. You need to relax. Remember that? Remember last season when he said that he didn't have any confidence in himself? He's getting paid $56 million. I'm going to bring that up later, all right? To have no confidence in himself. Remember that? Yeah, there was times where I showed you last week when the clips he was saying, well, good news, I'm not playing tonight, so we may win. There's times he has said things just to get attention, and it's not okay. So for you to sit here and say that it's a normal fan base, I don't know where the hell you think this is normal. In Philadelphia, there's nothing normal about us. We are hungry for a win. We are hungry for a championship. And if you are not on that boat, well, then you need to get your bags packing. And I'll talk about that a little bit later, about Philadelphians and wanting to win, or at least having something to cheer for. Now, I want to keep going, all right? So, let's get into this. It says, when a person appears in Philadelphia, where the advice to go to, all right? It says, your favorite place in town. He says, I live in New Jersey, and I come to Philadelphia only to play and exercise. It says, no reason to try and go and ride. It says, I have lived in Philadelphia at a half months before we bought a house. So pretty much he lived in Philadelphia for a half a month, okay? It says, before we bought a house. I do not really like that sort of town. Me in New York, I do not like. So he doesn't like New York either. It says, a big, bustling city with grim gateways. It says, Philadelphia is the same, but Boston, Vancouver, and Dallas are quite different. These are newer, cleaner. There, I like it. So they're newer and they're cleaner. Now look, people. Now a lot of people probably say Philadelphia, well, it is dirty. Yes, but that is something we've already knew. We already knew this. All right. I can't tell you how many times, and you can ask people from New York who know me. All right, you on Twitter or whatever. When I go up there, all right, and they say, oh, this place is dirty and dirty. I say, ever since Giuliani had the trash program to clean up, this is nothing. You need to come to Philadelphia and see how dirty it is. Yes, we are a dirty city, but here's the thing. There's a reason why all this dirt happens on top of the fact that it's a well-known thing. So this brings no legitimacy to what he's saying, all right? This is something that was already known for years. Now, I will say it. It says, I do not like old age. It says, I love the story, but not in all. So we drove through New Jersey, chose a house. We go into one. Realtors say, wow, this house is 87 years old. This is a story. It says, so what is this story? Well, someone has lived here and died. Then what? That's what he says. It says, you walk into the house and there smells of mildew and old age. Now check this out. Americans like it, but let me something new, means let me have something new. Understand something, Bryzgalov. Not all Americans like old age. You understand that? Where I'm at right now is not old age. It's been modernized. No one likes, not everyone likes that. So for you to sit here, all right, and assume that all Americans are this way shows just how closed-minded you really are. But that's not all right? So already, we're going to talk about the ghetto. Hold on, not talk about ghetto. Let's talk about New York for a minute. He says New York is a modern city. Skyscrapers in Philadelphia it says here in New York. Outside, all nice shops, shop windows, gloss, and you will roll into the alley, and what do you see? Old age and dirt. They're alleys! What do you expect? They're alleys. There's alleys for a reason, Bryzgalov. All right? And yeah, you're going to get old age and dirt. But it doesn't mean that every city, New York is one of the nicest places I've been to. All right? It's one of the best places I've been to. Shout out to New Yorkers. All right? But don't sit here and say that every place, unless you've scoured all of New York, which I'm sure you haven't, is all old age and dirt. Stop that. Let's keep going. It's the same for Philadelphia as well. Not all places in Philadelphia are dirty. Even though we are a dirty city, not all places are. Okay? Now, talk about the ghetto. This is what he has to say. There are enough of them. All right? Talk about Philadelphia. This is not a small part of a city. Too many do not work, live on welfare, and get food stamps for. They just don't want to work. Pause. For you to say that people in the ghetto don't want to work, you're talking to a person who has come from nothing and is here now. All right? So for you to say they don't want to work is ridiculous. I can call 10 people right now that are looking for a job that live in the ghetto. I can call 7 people right now who have 3 jobs and still looking for more. For you to sit here and say that they don't work is absolutely ridiculous. But let's keep going because I have a hell of a lot more to say on this. It says their principle is, why should I work when I can live? Let them raise taxes on the rich, which are injected. I sit in the dole, that's what it says. It says, the year I will get it here. It says, then move to another state. Start getting it there. Why do I broke back? All right, yeah, it sounds like you're broke back right now. He means, why am I broke? It says, there will come a new candidate who has promised us all. It says, us such a lot on the dole. It says, we vote for him and raise taxes on the rich. It's not even my opinion, and many Americans who I spoke with on this topic. Horrible. Absolutely horrible. Don't sit here and say that all of a sudden the rich are only being taxed and that people in the ghetto just want to sit around. Look, let me explain something to you about the ghetto since you know nothing about it, all right? Number one, people in the ghetto are already feeling as though they aren't worth anything because people like you always kick them down instead of trying to help Mr. $56 million man. That's right. If you don't like something, you have the power, you have the publicity, you have the power, and you have the money to change things. I don't see you putting up any funds for the ghetto. I don't see that. No. And this is what he says. People are afraid to call in the ghetto and try to get his side, it says, no. Understand something. If you want to combat about the ghetto, Ilya Bryzgalov, I am more than happy to talk to you about it. Because I put it like this. If I ever see you in a venue or in the street, I'm going to tell you how it is. Simple as that. I don't care if it's in front of your wife, in front of your kids. Because guess what? You've embarrassed your family as well. I have no problems with that. But this is what he says. Of course, it's best to avoid the ghetto. That's right. Once I drove there, I was driving and I thought, what am I doing here? It says, hurry, get out on the highway. How did I get here? So it goes to show you he's going to sit around and bump his gums about an area, about people that he doesn't know. But he wants to make sure that, he drove by there once, so he must know everything. That's what he's saying. You've got to be kidding me. Look, I'll put it like this. People in the ghetto are already kicked down. The last thing they need is more people kicking them down. Now, I know a lot of people are going to sit here and say, but this is Ilya Bryzgalov we're talking about. This is how he is. He's a weirdo. Even the person who wrote the article said he's a weirdo. But that's not a good enough excuse. That's not acceptable. He's not exempt from backlash or, he's not exempt from, consequences? He's not. That doesn't make any sense. And if you want to sit here and use that excuse for Ilya Bryzgalov that it's acceptable because he's weird, then why not be acceptable of people in the ghetto, huh? Because they have their own way too, right? But no, you'll sit back, you'll call them savages, you'll call them killers, you'll call them thugs, you'll have people in radio stations throwing up gang signs. Yeah, all of this, if you were so acceptable. See, this is the double standard of what I'm talking about. That's exactly what this is. Now, I'll put it like this. People in the ghetto have tried to work, and some quit. You want to know why they quit? Because, and I'm going to say this right now, because they get tired of trying to fit in with corporate America. That's why. They try so damn hard. And for anyone who knows what I'm talking about, all right? Because I've been there myself. You're trying to make a better life for yourself just to be said you're still not good enough. You know how many times I've been told when I had my little brief stint, when I lived in the suburbs, it was like, the suburbs is great. It's a better class of people. You don't have to worry about things. Then when I got up there, what happened? Nothing but hate and more racism than I ever experienced than being down here in the city. So I came back to the city. You have to be kidding me. Don't sit here and tell me that it's better in the suburbs. I'm not trying to hear that. Yeah, I'm talking to you, mainline. Yeah. Like I said, if you people have a problem with the ghetto so much, if it bugs you that much, then you need to start helping to change things. But you're not going to do that. No, you want to sit from a distance. You just want to talk about it, even though you're not qualified to talk about it. That's what it comes down to. In media, I have to ask you this. Why haven't you talked about this? I've been seeing all day on Twitter these goofball topics that you want to talk about when you have something real right in front of you. So let me get this straight. Bryzgalov, who knows nothing of the ghetto, can talk about the ghetto. The people, the media, can sit here and report about the ghetto, but they don't know nothing about the ghetto because they haven't been in it. They haven't been there. This guy drove by for what? A couple seconds? When me, and I'm sure a number of you watching this right now, have lived there for years. They don't know. That's the difference. It's sad. But yet, I don't see anybody combating him on this. But this is what happens when you don't have people have legitimacy down in the ghetto. You don't have anyone on your roster. And I'll say that. Because who are you going to put there? You going to put Howard Eskin out there to combat him on it? Nah, he don't know anything about the ghetto. Mike Missinelli? Nah, he don't know nothing about the ghetto. You have to understand that you need certain demographics to get an overall perspective of things, especially on issues like this. But yet, that doesn't matter. That is sad. It's pathetic. You know what? I don't even need this. Bryzgalov, you are disgusting scum. I want you out of this city so bad now because of what you have said. And it's not just about ideals and opinions. No, it's not about that. This is sad. You poked the bear on this one. Guess what? You're afraid of bears too, and you poked the bear. That's what this is. And I put it like this. When he speaks about the ghetto, I have to say this because this makes Ed Snyder and Paul Holmgren look bad because, number one, he represents the Flyers organization. And for those who know, Ed Snyder their youth hockey program is targeting people in the ghetto. That's right, building rinks and maintaining ice rinks in the ghetto or close to the ghetto so that kids from the ghetto can go and play hockey and get a better experience of things. What Bryzgalov is saying here is actually counterproductive. Don't you understand that? But yet, we're supposed to expect that, right? We're supposed to just expect it because it's Bryzgalov. That's not good enough. He's not, like I say, he's not exempt. He doesn't get a free pass. You should hold him accountable for his statements. And I'll put it like this. And for, everyone says, well, the media always trashes him in Philly and they always misquote him. This is not from Philly. This is from overseas, man. So this article is okay, apparently. If it was someone from Philly, it'd be probably a different story. Okay, because then you can question because of the things they've got wrong or the things that they got right in the past with him. But you have to understand that this is unacceptable. And for this guy, and I put it like this because he labels all these players as being good friends. I put it like this. Don't sit here and talk about other players being good friends. And he names Wayne Simmons, and I really don't know Wayne Simmons' history. But as we all know, in the ghetto, and I put it like this, it's not a race issue. Because in the ghetto, you have black, white, Asian, Hispanic. You have everybody is there. It is not a race issue. It is a class issue. And for a guy who's making this much money comes out off of his high horse, all right, to talk about people who talk about have-nots? Oh, no. It does not work that way. But yet, people are probably going to let this slide. I'm trying to figure out why people aren't mad enough at this. For someone as high profile as this to come out and say some garbage like this, it is ignorant and it is short-sighted. But yet, people are all right with that. And the sad part is there are people on Twitter who agree with him. But you know how that goes. It's Twitter, land of idiots. You know how that goes. Seriously, this is ridiculous. In no way should he be all right saying that. And in no way, seriously, there's no way that you can just overlook this and think it's okay. This is the problem we have today. Stop being a circus media and start digging on the real issues. But nobody wants to do that. Y'all still want to, hold charities for golf. And I'll talk about golf in a little bit later, all right? Because I'm a little pissed off at it. But I want to move on. That's right. I want to talk about basketball and flopping for championships. Now, last year we saw the Miami Heat flop to a championship, and don't tell me they didn't, all right? We saw it. We even saw it this season so far in the playoffs. Don't tell me that LeBron James fell that far when Muhammad pushed him. And don't tell me that little Nate Robinson threw his entire body, because he didn't, push LeBron James for him to fall all over the place. And they only gave him a foul when he was looking for a tech, all right? For this guy supposed to be the best player in the world, you shouldn't have to resort to cheap tricks like this. And no, it's not a mental battle. No, it's not trying to get an upper edge. No, he just flopped because he's soft. Don't give me that. And you know what? The NBA has had this problem for a while. As we all know, before that, Rodman was the one who introduced flopping. But now that we had the San Antonio Spurs and Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili constantly flopping, it has made a joke of things to come. And if you haven't believed me, you know what? Let's watch the clip of what happened last week. That's right, last week with Tony Parker and the Memphis Grizzlies.
The roll man goes down, and you bring another guy into the area. Leave an area and replace. Nice defensive play.
And this is the problem with the NBA today. And I told you guys last season when the Heat won that you shouldn't take the NBA season this year serious because of things like this. And I put it like this, for people who love to talk about Greg Popovich, how he's such a great coach and things like that, understand they're a product of him because he's the coach. He's not really aiming to stop them from flopping like that. So for anyone who thinks that Greg Popovich is a great coach and he doesn't call them on this, it's a disrespect to basketball, to the sport in general. I would love to see Tony Parker go out and play some street ball and fall all over the place like that. Would love to see it. You would not see it. That's what it comes down to. It's a show. It's acting. The NBA, and I've seen a number of places, today, a number of radio shows talk about how do you clean up the NBA. You can start with this, all right? Because it's funny how they fined J.R. Smith last week, before the Knicks were eliminated for flopping, but you don't get on Tony Parker for that. You've got to be kidding me. See, the NBA plays its favorites. We know this. And we know when they have a team that has been established, they're going to let them get away with pretty much murder. That's what it is. But yet, everyone is still shocked. They're still surprised. You shouldn't be shocked or surprised. The only thing that shocks me is the level of animated people on the court who do this. There is no reason, no excuse for that to happen. And people like Tony Parker. You've got to be kidding me. But you know what? I do want to talk about ESPN real quick, because when things like this happen, shoddy journalism, again, they don't call Tony Parker on this. And it's funny because, like I said before, it's not just the NBA, but also the media. They do play their favorites. And we know ESPN always plays their favorites when it comes to big market towns, right? Unless a team is hot or winning, they will not talk about you. We know this, all right? And if you don't believe me, let's hear what ESPN has to say about LA.
Fracturing his collarbone in a fight with Carlos Quinton. And that's a good 3 weeks ahead of schedule for the Dodgers, but good things are coming in threes out there in LA.
They need something to cheer about in LA.
Oh, hold on. Out of all the places LA needs something to cheer about? Are you serious? All right, you know what? Let's roll back to Philly for a minute. The Eagles didn't make the playoffs. The Flyers didn't make the playoffs. The Sixers didn't make the playoffs. And now it looks like the Phillies may not make the playoffs. And LA needs something to cheer about? Are you serious? This is what you're going to go with ESPN. You know what? And I'm not surprised when it comes to ESPN, because for those who don't know, ESPN just laid off hundreds of workers. You want to know why? Because they decided to get greedy when it came to buying up, sporting events and rights, because now they have competition with like NBC Sports. So guess what? They just got rid of hundreds of workers and told them, look, we're going to lay you off. But if you want, you can work for the rest of the week. You don't have to, but if you want to, you can. Are you serious? If you gave me that option, I would definitely not work for the rest of the week. I'd be looking for another job. You've got to be kidding me, ESPN. This is what happens when you get greedy, all right, and you have mismanagement, and you're too busy worried about buying up venues, and there's a reason why people, I'm telling you now, the link will be in the info bar, why your cable bills keep going up. And it's because of places like ESPN, because they keep pushing up the market rating. No joke. All right, people have done many videos on this. I believe the Young Turks did a video on this as well. And also, I'll put the article in the info bar for you guys about cable ratings and why your bill keeps going up. That's right, all because of sports venues. So if you're not a sports fan, guess what? You're getting screwed because you're not using those channels that are viable. Now, as of late, Congress has tried to push the fact that with cable, there are certain channels, if you can pick and choose what channels you want, but we haven't seen that go into effect yet. That's right. So people are paying more because of sports and because of places like ESPN. And there is a quote saying, don't blame us, blame ESPN. That's right. This is what ESPN is all about. And we all know the predictability. I want to go back to basketball real quick. The predictability of basketball. Because for anyone who saw the NBA draft, don't tell me the Cleveland Cavaliers got the #1 spot again. No way. No way. There's a reason they keep doing this. I'm telling you, people, it's a joke. Until David Stern gets out of this place and until they start bringing someone who actually cares about basketball, this circus will keep on going. That's what it is. It's a traveling circus. You know what? And speaking of traveling circus, I do want to talk about golf for a minute. Now, for those who have not seen my previous videos, I do not like golf. All right? I don't think it's a sport. I think it's a leisurely activity for old people. All right? That's what it comes down to. And then when the sponsors came in, then they tried to make it a big deal and then retrace the steps of history back in the day. Nah. That's not how I roll. I don't believe in that. And for those who don't know what happened not too long ago, earlier this week, golf, the PGA, banned the belly putter. Now, for those who don't know what the belly putter is, it's when you can put it's a longer golf club that you can put up against your body so then you can putt instead of just using your hands for forward motion. And golfers are complaining that they can't use it anymore. You've got to be kidding me. You're supposed to be pros. Play like a pro. Don't sit here and tell me that you need that belly putter. Look, it's already bad enough. You have guys who carry your bags. You have guys who tell you where to hit the damn ball because the way the wind may blow. You have all these other things going on. You have to have quiet when you're getting ready to hit the ball because the crowd may be distracting because in other sports that doesn't happen. You've got to be kidding me. And now you're going to complain over this? This is soft. That's what it is. And then you expect me to respect golf? I don't think so. Don't sit here and tell me that when you guys put on a helmet, when you guys play some basketball, when you guys go put on some pads or go play some baseball, and even baseball players sometimes are soft until they get hit with a pitch. Then you can really see how how it really affects them, how tough they are. But don't sit here and tell me, especially people like Tiger Woods who have bagged on NHL players for not being tough, don't sit here and tell me that golf is tough, that golf is a man's sport. It's not. It's a leisure activity. And don't sit here and tell me that it's okay to be complaining over nothing, a belly putter, because you can't put the long stick up against your body. You gotta be kidding me. Like I said, you're supposed to be pros. Act like it. I'm not trying to hear it. You know what? I'm done for the day. I'm so beside. I still want to talk about Bryzgalov some more, but I'm not going to. I will talk about the NHL quick though before I go. Boston Bruins are up 3-0 on the Rangers. I actually expected the Rangers to play a little bit better. It is a shame that you were letting down your goalkeeper. All right, your goaltender, your goalkeeper, your goalie, depending on where which region you're from, you know what I'm talking about. Lundqvist is playing like a monster. He cannot stand on his head, but for so long. If anyone's been watching this series, it is crazy. I'm shocked that the Senators and Penguins are not getting more exposure. All right, they haven't been playing them much, and I will put it like this. Chicago and Detroit is a really physical game. It's looking really good. I'm happy to see that. But Chicago Blackhawks fans, you gotta calm down. Your players, I'm surprised I have not seen fans call players on what the things that have happened in that series. They're playing pretty dirty out there, all right? And for those I'm talking about, when he pushed, the one guy into the net? He pulled right into the pole. I mean, there's times where they've come right across the ice and just hit people. And I'm not talking like hit, no, I mean like punch people. Like, I understand you have enforcers, but you gotta make it, come on, you don't make it so blatant. You just don't. You don't do these type of things. But it seems like that's what people want these days. Now, I know old school hockey was a little bit different, but remember, the NHL's trying to get away from old school hockey. Remember? So you can't have this type of action. And you know what? I do have to talk about what's that fool's name? And I call him a fool because he's an idiot. Ralphie Torres, gotta talk about him. There is no way that you can put a hit on someone like that and get suspended. And then last season, all right, you did the same thing, all right, different player, but still, you were suspended in the playoffs. Look, where is there a line to be drawn? There has to be one. You can't let this guy just come out and keep doing this. And suspensions apparently aren't enough. They're not enough. You have to make a statement. You have to make some type of example. Ralphie Torres has gone too far. He has, as far as I'm concerned. You can't keep doing these type of things. Just saying. Anyways, I'm done. I swear I really want to talk about Bryzgalov some more, but you know what? It doesn't matter. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all be safe. I'm out. Oh yeah, and gamers, you're getting another video. Pipe it down. I understand that what happened yesterday, I'll talk about later this week. Talk to y'all then.